And now we come to one of the first season's two worst episodes, The Crepes of Wrath, first broadcasted on April 15th, 1990. This was written by George Meyer, Sam Simon, John Swartzwelder, and John Vitti, and directed by Wes Archer and Milton Gray. I don't know if Milton Gray had anything to do with the series after this episode, but this is the episode where we see for the first time Skinner's mother, Agnes, in the series. Principal Skinner finally becomes fed up with Bart's pranks and proposes that Bart be sent to France as part of the students' exchange program. The family agrees, and Bart is sent to a, quote, beautiful chateau, which is actually a dilapidated winemaking facility. Bart is treated like a slave by two unscrupulous winemakers, Caesar and Ugolin, who eventually feed him wine tainted with antifreeze. Meanwhile, an Albany boy named Adil starts to live with the Simpsons, who, unbeknownst to Homer, is a spy sent by his country to obtain nuclear blueprints. Back in France, Bart learns French and reports the winemaker's crimes to the authorities. You want to know what the worst part about me not liking this is? Everybody else seems to really like this one. In fact, for a while, TV Guide actually named it the best episode of the series in 1997 and also the 17th greatest episode of television ever. And I'm just like, really? This episode? I'm sorry, man. I just couldn't get into it, and I tried. I really, really tried. It's one of those episodes where I think it was done better in later years. Like the whole plot about Bart being in a hellhole when the family thinks he's having the time of his life. I think that's done way better in the season 4 premiere episode, Camp Krusty. Here it's like I'm watching a Simpsonized version of 12 Years a Slave, except I'm not uncomfortable watching it for the stuff that they're showing me, but for how lazy the whole concept is. The two bad guys in this aren't really all that funny, and their method of giving him wine tainted with antifreeze, that's not funny, that's fucked up. I mean, I guess if there's anything worthy of this episode is that you can actually learn how to speak French while watching this episode, so that's good to know, I guess.
Oh. You're a policeman, aren't you?
Excusez-moi, je ne parle pas anglais.
But you gotta help me. These two guys I'm staying with, they work me day and night. They don't feed me. They make me sleep on
Tiens, petit garçon, voilà un bonbon.
I don't want a piece of candy. I need your help. Come on, mister. Can you help me?
Je suis désolé. J'aimerais vraiment pouvoir vous aider.
Oh, forget it. I'm so stupid. Anybody could have learned this dumb language by now. Here I've listened to nothing but French for the past 2 mois. Et je ne sais pas un mot. Eh! Mais je parle français maintenant. Incroyable! Et monsieur, aidez-moi. C'est du type nous faut travailler jour et nuit. Ils ne me donnent pas à manger. Ils nous font dormir par terre. Ils mettent antifreeze de le vin. Et ils ont donné mon chapeau rouge à l'un.
De l'antifreeze dans le vin? Oh, mais c'est sérieux, ça. Viens avec moi, fiston. Tu n'as plus rien à craindre.
Mon sauveteur, vous aurez toujours une place dans mon cœur.
Some of the cultural references they throw in are pretty good, and the opening bit with the cherry bomb is pretty funny. But other than that, though, I really don't get why a lot of people like this episode. This is nowhere near as bad as some of the worst Simpsons episodes, but I think it's forgettable. I think it's an episode that's more forgettable than people let on. I've seen better episodes than this first season that showed off true potential that the Simpsons had, like, you know, Life on the Fast Lane, or There's No Disgrace Like Home, or Homer's Odyssey, than this episode did. So not much more to say about this one. Overall, not one of the show's worst episodes, but I really think it's not as great or as exceptional like everyone else seems to put it. It's definitely one of the worst episodes of the season, easily.